Have you ever woken up with someone's face still lingering in your mind? Maybe an ex, a colleague, a friend who hurt you. And no matter what you do, that person just won't leave? It happens to many of us. And though it feels like torture, there is something deeply human and, surprisingly, something Buddhist that can help explain what's happening, and more importantly, how to find a way out of it. I want to walk you through why certain people take up permanent residence in your head, and how Zen Buddhist wisdom offers not just insight, but actual ways to shift your inner world so that peace, not obsession or pain, begins to prevail. When I reflect on my own life, I can see how sometimes the person haunting my thoughts was less about them and more about me and the attachments I carried. There was a time, for instance, when a friendship ended badly, and I found myself scrolling through old messages, replaying conversations, wondering, what if I had said this? Or, if only they'd done that. At first, I thought I just missed a person, or I was hurt. But gradually, I realized something deep was going on. I had tied my sense of worth, or my narrative of what I deserved, to how that friend saw me. I had made their approval part of my happiness. That was attachment, not love, and the attachment burned me more than the loss itself. In Zen, we learn that love and attachment look a lot alike. Both involve caring, focusing, longing. But love, when it's genuine, brings calm. Attachment brings storms, jealousy, fear, need. If your mind often flashes the thought of someone in a way that stirs up anxiety or restlessness, it's likely you're in the grip of attachment. And that grip is not random. It's functional. Attachment fuels suffering, but it also points toward what we haven't yet healed or understood about ourselves. Often, this kind of persistent thinking means there's unresolved emotional business. Call it karma, if you will. Maybe there was a betrayal you never properly acknowledged or guilt you buried. In many of my conversations with friends, I've seen someone still tortured by guilt over something they said long ago, refusing to forgive themselves. That unhealed feeling keeps the other person alive in memory, in mental loops. Zen teaches that these mental loops are not enemies. They are teachers. They are signals. Here's a lesson you have not yet learned, an emotion you have not allowed yourself to feel. Another pattern, projection. I've known people who are haunted in their thoughts by someone's confidence or success. Repeatedly, they think they have it easy. They are so sure. Why am I not like that? Often that person is not really the issue. Rather, the thought is mirroring part of themselves that they have not allowed to develop or have rejected. It might be a form of strength or assertiveness or self-respect, or maybe even envy. The other person becomes a mirror. You see in them what you deny in yourself. Until you reclaim that hidden part, they will continue to hold a kind of power in your mind. Fixating on outcomes also amplifies this persistence. We think, if only I could make things right, or if only I were forgiven, or if only we had a reunion. These fantasies reinforce the mental loops, because the mind rehearses them over and over. We are anticipating a future event that may never come, and in doing so, we keep the past alive. The paradox of Zen is that letting go of outcomes doesn't mean giving up hope. It means making peace with what is, recognizing what is within your control and what is not, and freeing yourself from suffering by loosening the grip of expectation. We also tend to identify deeply with the thoughts themselves. When I think of that person, I think I am suffering, I'm stuck, I'm longing, but what if that is only one stream in a vast river? What if those thoughts aren't who you are, but events in your consciousness, like clouds drifting across the sky? There's freedom in noticing. Here's a thought that I missed them. Or, here's anxiety that they will reject me, rather than merging with those thoughts. That tiny space helps loosen the grip. The illusion of permanence is yet another culprit. Our suffering is often compounded by believing that our relationship to that person, be it love, pain, longing, regret, is fixed, that it will never change. We think, I always care this much, or this wound will never heal. But impermanence is central in Buddhism. Everything changes. Sometimes gradually, sometimes suddenly. Feelings, relationships, memories, none stay exactly as they are. Realizing that doesn't cheapen them. It gives perspective, and with perspective comes relief. Now, here's a more radical idea. Maybe that person is still with you because there is a spiritual work to be done. Maybe you agreed in a way your conscious mind didn't know. to meet them, because with them, there was a lesson that could awaken you. In my own experience, I once was unable to stop thinking about someone who hurt me. At first, I resented them fiercely, but over years, I saw how that forcing had shaped patterns in my life. Avoidance of conflict, swallowing discomfort, a fear of asserting boundaries. Their presence, painful as it was, nudged me to become someone kinder to myself, to stop living by others' expectations. That was a spiritual assignment, very uncomfortable but necessary. So what we do with all these insights? How do we transform the persistent presence in our minds from a burden into a bridge to peace? Buddhism, and especially Zen, offers practices that transform relationship with thoughts. First, we observe. When the image of that person arises or a memory flashes, don't suppress or fight it. Just watch. Notice how it feels in the body, what the thought says, the emotional tone. In practicing this gentle observation, you begin to see that these thoughts are like weather, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm, and that you are the sky, not the storm. Second, ask compassionate questions. What attachment is being stirred? What fears? What stories have I built around this person? How have I shaped my identity or happiness around their presence or absence? Approach these questions without blame. Curiosity is more powerful than criticism. Third, practice letting go, not as forcing, but by acceptance. When I accepted that some relationships are not going to heal the way I want, some people not going to respond, I felt a shift. What changed was less about the outside world, more about my inner posture. I loosened the rope I had been pulling tight. Acceptance doesn't mean liking or restoring. It means peace with what is. Fourth, redirect. Use a moment when thoughts arise as a trigger, a bell. When you notice the mind returning to them, pause, breathe, bring yourself to the body, to now. Maybe feel the ground under your feet. Anchor in what is real in this moment. Over time, those triggers become opportunities to return home to yourself, rather than being dragged into mental loops. Fifth, cultivate loving kindness. Wish well to yourself. May I be free from suffering. May I find peace. Then extend it to that person. May they be free. May they find peace. It's not about condoning wrongdoing or forgetting. It's about releasing hostility and transforming emotional charge. I remember a story I read of a woman, call her Mai, who was haunted by memories of her father after his death. She felt guilt for things unsaid, regret for the way she behaved. Every anniversary, every time she saw a family photo, she was pierced with longing and shame. Over years, she began sitting with that pain in meditation, letting herself cry, asking quietly what lesson was in her regret. She wrote letters to herself and to her father, not to send, but to express things left unsaid. Then she practiced metta, wishing him peace. Over time, the sharp edge of sorrow softened. The person still appeared in her mind, but no longer as torment. Instead, as part of her evolution, a stone thrown in a river. Yes, but over time the river carried a disturbance. Water smoothed the edges. From all this, here are the lessons I've learned, and that Zen Buddhism points toward. Distinguish love from attachment. True love doesn't demand, and its presence or absence doesn't define your happiness. Unresolved emotions are like unpaid debts. They weigh on you until they're acknowledged, processed, forgiven, or integrated. You are not your thoughts. Observing them rather than identifying with them cracks open the cage. Let go of fixed outcomes. Peace often arrives not when things turn out as you hoped, but when you accept what is real. Impermanence is your friend. It reminds you that whatever feels overwhelming now will also pass. There may be purpose in your suffering. The very people who torment you mentally may hold spiritual assignments, opportunities for growth, awakening, self-discovery. Kindness towards self is essential. All practices, observation, inquiry, metta, are anchored in compassion, first for you. So if you find someone still in your head, see that not just as a problem, but as an invitation. An invitation to know yourself more deeply, to heal old wounds, to touch something timeless within you that isn't disturbed by passing thoughts. Begin with watching, with caring, with releasing, not because you want to force the mind, but because you want freedom. And as you practice, You may find that what once felt like mental imprisonment becomes one of the gentlest pathways to your own peace. Thank you for walking alongside us in this exploration of the inner world. Remember to subscribe so you won't miss future reflections that bring light, clarity, and balance to the challenges of modern life. Until we meet again, may every thought that visits your mind be welcomed with gentle understanding, and may you discover the hidden gifts they carry when viewed through the lens of wisdom.